Israel had recently launched airstrikes in Yemen and in Lebanon and also began ground invasion of Lebanon. These events have escalated more tensions in the Middle East region. Israel is targeting Hezbollah, a powerful Shia militant group in Lebanon, and Houthi, a rebellion group in Yemen. Recent bombing by Israel on Lebanon capital Beirut resulted into the death of Hezbollah's leader Hassan Nasrallah. The bombing also caused many casualties and death of civilians. On the other hand, in Yemen, the Houthi control significant part of the country have been involved in a prolonged conflict with Israel. Israel airstrike on the Houthi controlled port of Haudhies were in the response of the drone attack on Tel Aviv, a city of Israel. Why did Israel decided to carry out bombing and ground raid in Lebanon? The Israel Defense Force said on the platform X that raid were carried out based on the precise intelligence against Hezbollah's terrorist targets and infrastructure in the South Lebanon. These terrorist targets are located near the Israel border and pose an immediate threat to Israel's community in the North Israel. The second reason is retaliation and deterrence. Israel's airstrikes were a direct response to the attack from the Hezbollah and the Haudhies. By targeting these groups, Israel aimed to deter further attacks and demonstrate the military capacity and its power. The third reason is eliminating the threat. Hezbollah and the Haudhies are backed by Iran, a country that Israel views as a significant threat. By weakening these groups, Israel aimed to reduce the Iran influence in the Middle East region. But the international communities has had mixed reaction to these bombings. These bombings by Israel are being criticized on the following points. First, disproportionate use of forces. Israel's response was disproportionate. The bombing resulted in significant civilian casualties and destruction which may believe could have been avoided. Second is violating the international law. There are claims that these airstrikes violate international humanitarian law. The targeting of the civilian area and infrastructure has been condemned by various human rights organizations. The third criticism is instead of bringing stability, these bombing have more escalated tension in the region. The bombing have led to the further retaliation and violence, making the situation more volatile. As Hezbollah recently announced to take revenge of death of their leader Nasrallah and also will appoint a new leader soon. The fourth and the last criticism is humanitarian impact. The bombing have increased the humanitarian crisis in Yemen and in Lebanon. Both countries are already struggling with economic and social issues, and these attacks have worsened the situation for countless civilians. Internationally, there have been protests and calls for Israel to cease its aggressive actions. Many countries and organizations are urging for diplomatic solution rather than military intervention. While Israel cites self-defense as the reason for their bombing and ground invasion, the international community's response highlighted the need for a more measured and humanitarian approach. What are your thoughts on the Israel's action? Let us know in the comment section. And do subscribe the channel if you are interested in geopolitical news and if you like the content.